Hello everyone, my name is Jessica Krosik and I am in Sue Simonson's Wednesday Education Law class from 12 to 2 p.m. section 11693. The cases that I have chosen for this assignment are both different in nature, but focus on teacher misconduct with their students. The first case that I will be discussing is between the Ontario College of Teachers and Thomas Adrian Forrester. From September 2004 to August 2006, he behaved inappropriately towards his students. He told confidential information regarding the learning profile of the student to the student's parent without the student being made aware of having a colleague present. This connects directly to class material, as we learned in class that releasing information about a student without the student's consent is a violation of the OCT guidelines, meaning that the teacher could be charged with misconduct. He also said the following things to his students. He told them to shut up. He told them they would fail their asses off in university. He used the word bitch to describe the actions of a character in a novel which they were studying, and he also pulled out the chairs from students' behinds, and he physically turned a male student around and then placed him in his seat with his hands on the student's shoulders. Obviously, he acted extremely unprofessionally and inappropriately towards his students. The reason that I chose this case is because he was a teacher in the Toronto District School Board, which is the same city that I grew up in, and as I was in the Toronto Catholic District School Board for my elementary and high school years, this was significant to me as an Ontario teacher because it shows some of the signs of physical misconduct perpetrated by a teacher, which has educated me on what to be aware of as a future teacher. This case was eye-opening as it showed that these kinds of situations can arise anywhere, anytime, and has made me less naive to the fact that it could happen at a school that I work at in the future, especially since it happens so close to where I live. The court found that based on the evidence and the onus and standard of proof that Thomas Foster was guilty of professional misconduct. Thomas Foster made particular breaches of Ontario Regulation 437/97, subsections 1, 5, 1, 7, 115, 118, and 119. Due to this, he cannot work in any school, public or private, for at least 30 days, and before he returns to work, he must enroll in and successfully complete at his own expense a course of instruction pre-approved by the registrar regarding anger management, classroom management, and effective student discipline. This second case is between the Ontario College of Teachers and David William Bradley. This case is about a teacher who sexually abused a student. David Bradley was employed by the Trillium Lakelands District School Board. The 57-year-old teacher was having electronic conversations with students that he did not teach. One male student under the age of 16, Bradley was having sexual conversations with. He also had Skype calls with a different student under the age of 18. He also sent a third student naked photos of himself and asked that student send him sexually explicit photos also. He would also Skype call in a sexual manner with the student under 16 years of age. These instances all fall under Section 16 of the Human Rights Code, which is sexual harassment. This relates to the course content as we learned about the Human Rights Code in class. Sexual harassment includes unwelcome online demands, such as the demands made by the teacher in this instance for pictures. The reason that I chose this case was because it showed me that these types of horrific instances happen, and even in Ontario. I think that it is important to be informed that these individuals who have been teaching for many years, like this teacher, still commit horrendous acts like this against children. I think that this case has made me realize that this can happen at any school. This case was important to me because it made me aware that these types of things arise, and although I am an optimist and I like to believe the best in people, the people can also do horrible things that they need to be reprimanded for. Although I would never act anything like this case is a good reminder to always be professional when inside and outside of the classroom. The court's decision was that the member committed acts of professional misconduct as alleged, contrary to the Ontario Regulation 437/97, subsections 1, 5, 17.2, 17.3, 115, 116, 117, 118, and 119. The member also engaged in sexual abuse of a student of a nature defined in sections 1 and 30.2 of the Act. This decision was made because the member, like in the previous case, committed professional misconduct. The teacher also broke the rules of the Criminal Code of Conduct, as the member was found guilty of one count of telecommunication, communicating with a person under the age of 16 years, for the purposes of facilitating an offense under Section 152 of the Criminal Code, contrary to Section 172.1 of the Criminal Code of Canada, and one count of transmitting sexually explicit material, to wit, computer graphic movies, to a person whom the member knew to be under the age of 16 for the purposes of the commission of an offense under Section 152 of the Criminal Code of Canada, contrary to Section 171.1 of the Criminal Code of Canada. In summary, these two cases are both excellent examples of what not to do as a teacher. Not that I would ever act this way, but it is good to see why teachers must be held to a very high standard and always practice professionalism inside and outside of the classroom. Here you can see my references page, and that is all for this presentation. Thank you so much for listening.